Well, hi everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm here to give you a review of my brand new Temple Audio Pedalboard. Oh yes, I'm a musician, and chances are you're probably also a musician. But I'm also an architect, so I hope I'm going to give a little more even keel review than some of the happy-go-lucky ones that I've seen online on YouTube there. Hopefully this will help you a lot. And before I get into some of the details here of the board and my review, I want to talk about pedal boards in general and design principles, okay? Now, design principles are pretty important because they help us to think about what should a pedal board be, okay? Where should we be going, and what should it look and feel like to have a really good pedal board? Now, software aside, considering that we would have a board and we would have pedals and stuff really on it, where we need to go, the design principles could be summed up in two letters: E-Z. Okay? Look, I'm a musician, and you're probably a musician. I want to play music. I want to create music. What I don't want to do is I don't want to use these. I don't want to cut. I don't want to tape. I don't want to snip. I don't want to wire. I don't want to solder. I don't want to Velcro. I don't want to dual lock, tri-lock, quadri-lock. I want to play music. I want to create music. And that's the thinking that we need with pedal boards, okay? That's where we need to go. The faster I can get a pedal and play music, the happier I am. That's the design thinking we need to have. Now, Temple Audio has taken, a step in that direction. They're trying to make things a little easier for us, and so that's a good thing, okay? But there's a long, long way to go. Where the design process should go is that pedals should have the connectors, perhaps, say, in a common location, all of them, period. And, I get the thing, I set it on the board, it's automatically plugged in, and I can start creating music. I can start playing music. That's where we need to get. Now, I realize, that's a huge ask. There's a lot of obstacles in the way. The pedal manufacturers aren't going to just agree to some common, although I'm surprised nobody is trying to even push this, but to some common specs or some common process so that we can get there. You do see some commonalities. We use the same audio jack. Those that have MIDI often have the same MIDI jack. We've standardized the power a little bit, but that's just barely agreeing to some common things. So we really have a long, long way to go to get to where musicians like me and you want to be. That is, get my pedal, put it down, and play music. I want to create music. That's what I want to do. I don't want to cut, snip, solder, paste, Velcro. I don't want that. I want to play music. Okay, that's where we need to get. So let's talk a little bit about the Temple Audio pedal board here, and let's dig into this creature. And let me start off by giving them a little kudos. They're trying to move forward with a little innovation, and this is their new product, and I think there's some really good things here. So the general concept that Temple Audio has used for their pedal boards is what they call a kind of a quick release mechanism. Now, what they want you to do is they have these little plates. They're calling them plates, and the plate has, it's a sticker. Oh, I was hoping to be done with stickers, but it's a sticker. So you have to stick the sticker onto your pedal. Oh. Anyway, you stick the sticker onto your pedal, and it has these little connectors on the plate, and the connectors then will slot or fit into the holes on the board, kind of like that. So there's, a kind of an open, or a lot of places, the real estate on the board is open pretty much to where you can place your pedals using these plates. And then there's dots on the plate that kind of secure it, but really there's a little screw. And once it's kind of in place, then you come up underneath. Oh, this is in the way here, but you come up underneath and screw the screw in. And if the plate is tightened down onto the board, then the pedal is secured to the board. So that's the general concept of the Temple Audio's pedal board. Pretty cool. Again, it's an innovation, a new way to think about mounting the pedals to the board. There's actually, I'll have a link here below, there's actually someone else that has come up with even perhaps a little better idea on how to secure the pedals with some side clamps to the pedals that require no stickers. Ooh, did I say no stickers? Did I mention I'm a musician and we want to spend time creating music, not sticking and cutting and soldering and velcroing? Yeah, I think I said that. So anyway, there's another, you'll see the link here, there's another company that has a new innovative idea. However, I think their board sizes are kind of limited. Temple has a really nice selection of board sizes. In mine, I actually got was custom. I was a little sad because I bought a trio, which is supposed to allow for like 3 levels of somewhat of pedals, but they didn't. They had a 20 some, and then they jumped up to like a 40 some inch in the length. And what I needed was about a 3 foot, but they didn't have that. So let me talk to you about some very big design flaws in the Temple Audio pedal board. The first one I'm going to kind of show you on the side. And the first one is that the board is very flat, okay? Here's the edge. And a lot of the old school boards, I think you know what I'm talking about. Old school aluminum frame pedal boards have a lot sharper, a lot more incline than the Temple Audio pedal board. So this is a big design flaw with the Temple Audio pedal board, and it's a big problem. What does that mean? Why is it a problem? Well, the first issue is that a number of power supplies won't fit underneath the board easily or at all in some cases. And I have a True Tone CS12 one spot that won't fit under there. There's just not as much thickness here under the board as exists with the old school pedal rail type boards. And so the power supplies, some of them don't fit, and that's a big issue. Now, that obviously is a big issue. Now, if you watch their training video, what Temple Audio would like to tell you to do is to take your power supply. Let's pretend like this was a power supply. It's not, but and they want to tell you that what you can do is you can mount that power supply underneath the pedal board using their plates. You can use these plates, and you stick the plate, on the thing just like as if it were a pedal, but you mount it underneath on the bottom side of the pedal. And while that seems kind of nifty, that approach is really bad, because what it's going to do is it's going to take up, when this thing is mounted under here, flush up against the pedal board on the underside, it's going to take away this real estate on the top, right? You can't put your little when the power's mounted flush against the bottom, you can't put your little plate in here and screw it on, because the power would be underneath there and it's in the way. Okay, and so this flat design flaw causes a lot of issues with problems. Interestingly enough, what we're seeing is several power companies are now making new, slimmer power bricks to support, well, you know what, this pedal board. That's why they're on the market. Don't kid yourself. They didn't do it because they needed to. They had to for this board. You know, someone had suggested, well, you could kind of modify the feet here of the pedal board. But again, remember, I want to create music. I don't want to, you know, have to hack stuff to make it work, right? And the problem with elevating the feet is, you know, if you get a nice incline like you should have had to start with, well, will it fit now in your case? Because the case is made to fit this, you know, height of pedal board. And if the back part is higher, as it should have been, you know, will it really even fit in the case? So, you know, I don't know. But the flatness of the board causes a problem with the power. And to me, that's kind of a big issue, a really bad design flaw. The other issue with the board being very flat and not at an incline is that, back to the power real quickly, the right design, the right design thinking in a pedal board is that I don't want my pedal to take up any real estate away from the board. I want all of my pedal board for my pedals, for my effects pedals. I bought this to have effects pedals that change my sound. The power isn't there to change my sound. It's, you know, enables the sound to be changed, but I want all of the real estate to go towards my pedals, not my power supplies. So design a pedal board so the power sits underneath separately, and doesn't take up any space away from the board. So one other big issue with the flatness of the board, and that is you have to step over. You know, when you have pedals like front to back, you want the back pedals higher because you're going to have to step over the front pedals to press the foot switch there, right? And if it's you know, the back is just a little bit higher, it's harder to reach over and hit those without hitting other knobs or hitting other things. Especially, you know, you're on stage, often it's dark, and you know where it is, you got to switch, and you need to step over the front pedals to get to the back, and you want to be able to do it easy. I love easy, and you know, not fumble and not, you know, whatever. In my pedal board, I actually plan on having my gig rig, which is kind of a switcher loop, or you know, you can you know, set the gig rig up. And there's a number of these types of switchers, and when you press one button, it will activate, you know, 4 different pedals. However you decide, you kind of program it. It's not very, it's really simple, but you kind of program it. Or if you switch this, you get, you know, 3 different pedals, and you press this one, you get a different set of pedals, right? So it makes switching between your various pedals, you know, you can just press once, and then you've got your next set of pedals. And it does a lot more than that as well. But I need my gig rig in the very back of my board. And I had some folks ask me, why do you need your switcher in the back? Why wouldn't that be in the front? Most of the times when you see pedal boards, you see it in the front. Well, the reason the switcher needs to be in the back in my case is there's a number of pedals, and this is growing. This is a growing design trend that have switches that you need to press and hold. For example, I have a looper, right? And when I'm going to record my loop, I have to keep the foot button pressed down. to record my loop. I have a new TC Electronics Quintessence, and it has in this button here on the thing, they call it mashable, and it acts like a kind of a continuous controller. Depending on how hard you press it down, you can change some of the effects on here. I have a Strymon Big Sky. It has one of the 3 foot switches is a press and hold foot switch for the reverb. As you hold it down, it's like a continuous reverb. No matter what you play, it just keeps on going forever, and if you play another note, it adds on to it. So in my case, the incline is important because the press and hold pedals or the variable pressure pedals I have to have in front, because I'll never really be able to kind of step over other pedals to get to those and effectively control that, you know. So my switcher, my gig rig kind of switcher loop thing is going to be in back. So there's another reason why the flatness of the Temple Audio pedal board, you know, really causes some issues there. Let's talk about another design issue. I'm going to show you it right here, and that is the back part of the pedal board is all solid. Okay, it's all solid. So there's no holes in the back. And why would this be a problem? Well, this is a big problem. Let's just say I had something like a Strymon Mobius sitting on the back of my pedal board right here. Again, I'm trying to maximize my real estate, and this is where I think it, you know, the best place to put it is. Well, how am I going to connect the jacks to these audio jack inputs and output? How can I do that? Well, I can't, you know, if it was an old school pedal board, the rail type where there's holes in the back, the jack would just come underneath and then it would connect here. But I can't do that if there's no hole in the back. And so now what am I going to have to do? Well, I could, you know, run the cord on the top and around and in, but again, that kind of defeats the purpose, and that's a bad, you know, put some extra stress on bending, I think, the cable and stuff. Yeah, the back needs to have a wide open, a lot of wide open space for us. The other issue with a completely solid back is, you know, normally that's where I ran the power cord. I had my power underneath, and I put the power, you know, connected up to the power brick from the back, from an open back. But that doesn't exist in these pedal boards. Another problem, another bad design flaw. Now, what Temple Audio has done for us is they have these side panels that they have knockouts in. Okay, and they really should have had some in the back, the same way that they have these. And I think you can see these. And the knockouts, they're screwed on. They're plates that are screwed on. And there's a number of different things you can buy. There's your choice of things you can buy to take out the piece, the knockout piece, the flat piece, and put in something like a power adapter so that you could just plug your power into the side. Or they have ones that are like audio adapters, you know, for your audio jacks, so you can put audio in or stuff. They have a number of different optional. Did I mention that? Oh, you know, these things cost some more money. They're not part of the board. You got to buy them extra. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Let's see how we can rake our customers over the fence. Yeah, so these are kind of a cool looking design that they have. As long as, cha-ching, you've got a lot of money in your pocket and you want to spend like $50? $50 to have, you know, my power come in the side? You're kidding me. That's really not very customer friendly, in my humble opinion. So, no holes in the back, knockouts in the side. Of course, if you want something, you know, to go into those, it's going to be extra for you. Another issue. Finally, there's another design flaw. I'm surprised that they didn't catch this, because it seems they're really interested in getting into your back pocket. And that is, the board doesn't have any accessories designed to kind of secure cables to the board itself. Look, we're still in that era where we're going to be plugging things in on the side and whatnot, and so the cables will have to go on the bottom or on the top. In either case, we're going to have to tie our cables down. We don't want them flopping. If they're underneath, we don't want them, hanging and creating stress points. So the company does not offer, any tie downs that would kind of snap into these holes. Look, I'm giving you some free, innovative suggestions here. And yeah, I can take one of those little tie clips and run it through the hole and tie it off myself. But it's a little extra work, and I want to create music. Yeah, I'm a musician. I want to create music, not Velcro and tri-lock and dual lock and tape and snip and solder. I want to just put the stuff and create music. That's what I want to do. So I'm surprised it doesn't come with any of that. So there you go. I think there's kind of a little realistic, perhaps, review of the Temple Audio pedal board. Some innovative thinking, but also a lot of design flaws there that you need to think about before you go plumping down your money thinking, wow, this is going to be easier and better. And I honestly, I don't know how often people change pedals. The idea of the plates, they call it quick, it's a quick attach, it's easy, right? And you can change things out. But I don't know really how often you change pedals so that, this is going to be of a great advantage to you. Maybe it is, I don't know. So what I'm going to do is, this part of the review was about, really what you can expect if you buy one of these things. Now, to make it work for me, I had to do some hacks, a number of hacks. And so the next part of the video, I'm going to show you my board with my pedals on, and I'll show you a little bit more about what I did to get them on and some of the hacks that I did to make things work. I had to spend some extra money, didn't want to, but I paid a lot for the board. I want it to work, and it's a nice piece of real estate. It's a 33, it's a trio, but it's about 33, 34 inches long. So I have a lot of pedals, and I really want it to work, so I've got to make it work. So stay tuned for the rest of the video.